My name is Daniel Urenda. I wrote for Politics and News and occasionally for Community.
What was especially satisfying about seeing your publications being printed? I mean, seeing your articles being printed.
It was satisfying to see something I wrote actually be published into a physical newspaper. This is the first time I've ever taken this kind of course and done this kind of work. I took an intro to journalism class a long time ago, but that's the closest I actually got to actually writing for a newspaper. So it was really cool to see my name above something I wrote and know that other people are reading it.
How would you say you've grown after joining the Chronicle?
I suppose I've grown in the sense that I think it's a lot easier for me to reach out to people and get information from them. For a lot of the stories I had to write, I had to reach out to professors, politicians, people who are professionals in whatever subject I'm writing the article on. So at first I thought it was a little intimidating, but after getting used to it, sending out emails, making calls, meeting people, it seemed like an ordinary, everyday sort of thing.
What is the process that you go through for producing each piece that you've done throughout this quarter?
Well, whenever I found out what it was that I was supposed to be writing on for that week, I'd immediately try to contact as many people as I could. You never know who's going to be available. A lot of the professionals I was talking about are usually pretty busy, and a lot of times they can't even get back to me until like a week or two after I tried to reach out to them. So I had to send out as many messages as I could and leave as many messages as I could. After that, writing was pretty easy. Meeting the deadlines was never really a challenge because there's usually enough to write about, no matter what the subject is. It was really just about, getting the information that I needed first.
I'm Robert Klimper. I'm a staff writer for A&E, and I also am a unofficial associate editor for Veronica, who's the editor for A&E.
How much did you know about the subject before joining?
I knew a decent amount. I had already taken the introductory courses back at San Francisco State, where I took the courses originally because I wanted to see if that was something I'd like to do because I want to go into gaming journalism. And then taking the course, I realized how much I liked it, and then coming here, I wanted to, I helped a little bit with the paper at SF State, so I wanted to work on it more when I came here for Cal State. And so coming in, this is just, and like I said, I took a course here in the first quarter here, so I was just excited to come in and work more.
How much have you grown ever since you joined?
I would say each quarter I grow a bit more, I learn something new. I always try to improve on my own skills and my own, just anything I can. I always try to make my leads better. I try to make my general writing better, the flow, anything I need to learn to just become a better writer, because I think no matter what, you can always improve.
What was especially satisfying to you about either the process or the finishing product for the articles?
For just the whole thing, it'd be the finishing product, just being able to see my article in the paper, being able to look at it and be like, here's a photo I took, here's the story I wrote, here's something that other people can grab at the campus, read, and just get someone's story or just my perspective on an event or something like that.
Hi, my name is Blair Hernandez, and I am a new writer for the Coyote Chronicle, and my section is Arts and Entertainment, and my editor is Veronica.
What process did you go through to produce each piece for publication in the Chronicle?
To be honest, I used my editor's advice, and she told me just put yourself out there, keep me posted, keep me communicated, and that's how I was able to process this, the Coyote Chronicle, and it being my first time with the class, not knowing what I'm getting myself into, I just wanted to try something different. So,
what resources did you use while working on your stories for the Coyote Chronicle? Which ones were especially helpful, or which ones would you recommend to new Coyote Chronicle staff writers?
Let's see, I used the Media Center and their cameras a lot during my journey with the Coyote Chronicle, and just attending events and checking out the camera in advance for future events. So planning ahead of time has been my strategy, and that's how I've been so successful in the Coyote Chronicle this quarter for spring. And I recommend, once you get a story from your editor,
go for it.
My name is Victor Brooks, staff writer here at the Coyote Chronicle, and I wrote for opinions, news, and community, and features.
How much do you know about the subject before joining?
Well, when I first took the course, I knew nothing. I haven't taken Content 40 or anything, and I just went into it, and I enjoyed it.
In what ways have you grown ever since joining the Chronicle?
My writing has got better, my interviewing has improved, my networking has improved, as well as pretty much my editing.
What did you learn about yourself as you worked in the Chronicle?
That I really actually enjoy news, and I do enjoy communicating with others and networking, and allowing for hopefully the truth to be out there, pretty much factual and historical facts, pretty much.
What would you suggest for new incoming writers?
When you first come in, ask questions, no question is stupid, and make sure that your stuff is factual and not just you blowing your own opinions out there.
My name is Janet Curiel, and I've written for 4 different sections of the Coyote Chronicle for news, opinions, community, and politics.
So how have you grown ever since joining the Coyote Chronicle?
Well, I'm actually a returning writer, so I started last spring. I think from that time to now, I've grown in the sense of my confidence in the way that I write, and the ability to go into a space and being able to maneuver and try and get the story. So last year I went to a Bernie Sanders rally, and I was able to actually get into the press pool area, and I actually got to shake hands with him there. And then this quarter I was during the whole faculty senate thing, I was actually felt confident enough to actually reach out to the president's office and have a one-on-one interview, and going those little steps that I've taken from then until now, I feel more confident in the way of my journalistic abilities and being able to reach out directly to whoever it is that I want to get the story from.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I write for the sports section of the Coyote Chronicle.
How do you feel about your work in the Chronicle? And what parts of it do you particularly like, dislike, and why?
I feel good about the work I've done for the Coyote Chronicle. It's good just being out there and being able to write. It's kind of hard sometimes writing for me the sports sections that I don't really like baseball. It's kind of something you got to go through. But besides that, I had a lot of fun writing for sports and learning about the different sports and the college sports we have going on here.
What would you suggest for new incoming writers, even for ones that are going into sports?
Just go in with an open mind, have fun with it. Don't worry too much. It's okay if you struggle at first. Everyone does. Just write, have fun with it. Don't worry too much.
Hi, I'm Alex Douglas, and I'm the community editor here at the Coyote Chronicle.
How was the transition of you becoming an editor from a writer?
Ooh, good question. An
editor from a writer, sorry.
When I was a writer, I'd have people assigning me stories, and so I'd be like, okay, I know what to do, and I feel like it was not necessarily easier, but it was just, you didn't have to deal with so many people. But when you're an editor, you're the one assigning stories, and you have to work with the writers, and sometimes the stories don't work, or they're not doable, or something happens. And going from a writer to an editor, you have people you have people underneath you that you have to kind of take care of and work with and manage. And it was for sure a job. Almost every day I had to talk to writers. I had to text them. I had to make sure that they got their stories. If they couldn't do a story, I'd have to reassign it. Whereas when I was a writer, I just had to do my own story. But as an editor, you're doing multiple stories every week, and you got to make sure everything's done correctly too. Like there's many as a writer, I'd be done by Thursday. As an editor, my work was never done until it was actually never done.
What would you say or suggest for new incoming writers that may have never ever written before?
I think that you should be dedicated to your craft for sure. When I first was a writer, I just took it because it was practical, but as I took it, I started to enjoy it, and I got more into it. And the more I got into it, the more I got out of it. I made great friends that I still talk to this day. I became an editor. I get paid for it. I made connections. I got a new worldview. Like one story, I put together a group and we went out and interviewed homeless people, and I got to see their perspective. And to me, it was just like my mind was blown, because like you're open up to this new world, and that I never thought I would before. And so I think that you just got to be dedicated. If you, we have some other students that are gonna get published in the newspaper, in LA Times too. So there's like opportunity. You just gotta be dedicated and be like on top of your stuff.
Hi, I'm Clarissa Gonzalez, and I am a staff writer for the Expressions section.
How much do you know about the subject before you started?
I know nothing of news writing. I write short fiction. This was a prereq, I think, for my current major, but I liked it, so I stayed another quarter, and I'm coming back next quarter.